What's up, everyone? Welcome to Among the Fence, my YouTube channel where I do music reviews. My name is Aaron, and today we're going to check out the new album, The Wretched, The Ruinous, by the band Unearth. Unearth is probably one of the most underrated and most unknown metalcore bands around, considering that this is their 8th studio album since they popped up in 1998. And honestly, they don't really have a best album, and I can't really pinpoint a favorite album because to me they're all pretty amazing. A few that stand out though is their debut album, The Strings of Conscience, their second album, The Oncoming Storm, their fourth album, The March, sixth album, Watchers of Rule, and their seventh album, Extinction. I mean, the rest are pretty amazing in their own right, and the only reason why they're not on this list is because I haven't listened to enough of them to really say that it's one of their best albums. And with a strong track record like this, I was pretty stoked to hear that they were going to be dropping a new album. I mean, they basically perfected the early metalcore sound, and they always remind me so much of why I love like the early 2000s metalcore, like early As I Lay Dying, Killswitch Engage, Unearth, bands like that that just really they take me back. They take me back to that time. So I kind of expect that from this album as well. I'd like to hear some new stuff on it, of course, but at the same time, I mean, they're not trying to reinvent the wheel in any of their past albums, so I don't really expect it too much on this. But let's see what this new album has to offer. The album opens up with a title track song, The Wretched, The Ruinous, which has a blast beat heavy intro with an equally powerful verse. The riff in the pre-chorus just screams classic metalcore, as does the melody that's found within the chorus. The breakdown isn't super heavy, but again, it's just old school stuff. It has a smooth transition back into the chorus from it. The one thing I didn't really care for all that much in this song is a guitar solo. That's kind of my own thing. I don't really care that much for guitar solos within metalcore. And the second breakdown has Chance, which is, it's honestly kind of silly, but at the same time, it makes it pretty epic. Then we have Cremation of the Living. The riff reminds me a lot of like early As I Lay Dying, something kind of along the lines of Nothing Left, maybe. The vocals are intense, as is the groove in the verse, and the chorus is really epic with a sick guitar melody. The breakdown in this has good rhythm, and overall, the song doesn't really offer all that much. It's just basically just a heavy, groovy song that I enjoyed quite a bit, and I think the different sections of that is what makes this one a banger. Eradicator has vocals that are right in your face, and the verse has some really fast, flashy drum work. The song has hints of kind of like death metal vibes thrown in there, specifically from the vocals and the riff and the drums, I guess kind of everything. The breakdown is so freaking good. It's probably one of my favorite breakdowns that they've ever done, at least that I can remember. And I was hoping that it would carry on throughout the rest of the song, just make it just plow through the rest of the thing. But it was interrupted by a guitar solo that I did actually enjoy in a phenomenal outro. So I mean, you win some, you lose some, and on this one, I kind of take it as a win-win. Then we have the song Mother Betrayal, which has a dark intro thanks to the clean guitar and the harmonies from the vocals. Things go, I guess you could say, back to normal in the verse till the pre-chorus, which is basically just like a mini, more mellow sounding breakdown. And the chorus brings that lead guitar back from the intro, and it's just such a nice touch how it comes around full circle. You kind of expect it's a little predictable, but at the same time, it still is amazing. Then we have the song Invictus, which has a dynamic laser sounding kind of guitar part that drops out after the intro. And then it's just drums and vocals standing out in the verse. It comes back around in the chorus. It sounds really inspiring, but again, it's a little predictable. You're starting to kind of understand how this band is operated. It's what they've always kind of done. But on this, I don't know, it's just standing out a little bit more. Just they're not really catching me by surprise at all throughout most of this. I mean, the outro is really brutal. It's got some really good screeches in it, but it's not really long enough. So all the parts in this song that you really want to keep going, they don't. And all the sections where you're like, I think they're going to do this here, they do. Call of Existence has another melodic sounding intro. A little bit of it hangs around in the verse. It comes back full force as it goes into the chorus. I really enjoyed the vocal cadence playing off of the chunky rhythm. The bridge is very motivational. The guitar solo was actually pretty sick. I enjoyed it quite a bit, which again is kind of surprising because I don't really like my metalcore with guitar solos that much. So the fact that I'm enjoying it kind of stood out to me a little bit. Then we have Dawn of the Militant. This is probably my favorite song on the album. It's got like atmospheric kind of intro where the drums are going absolutely crazy. The lyrics are pretty basic, but the main takeaway in this song for me personally is the grooviness and the dark, eerie sounding chorus. And the breakdown with the warning signal was just absolutely sick. It's something that I wanted to do, again, kind of predictable, but it's everything that I wanted. Any Aura is just a clean acoustic guitar interlude. It does a good job at kind of breaking up the first half and the back half of this album, but at the same time, it doesn't really feel like it belongs there. If anything, it sounds like an intro to the next song, Into the Abyss, which keeps the same melody going from Aniara. I believe that's how it's pronounced. The riff is pretty dynamic, and I love the lyrics in the verse. It's the first time the lyrics really stood out to me at all throughout any of these songs. The breakdown was kind of basic. I didn't really care all that much for the solo. It's not really my thing. The song structure is what I enjoyed the most in this song, though, is it doesn't really have a chorus. It's just a verse, a bridge, a breakdown, another verse, and then an outro. And I guess the outro kind of works as a chorus, but it's kind of more of an outro. Then we have the song Broken Arrow, where the drums stood out to me the most, along with the cleans and the chorus. The guitar melody took me back to the mid-2000s, metalcore stuff again. It's really great. This is what they're known for, and I enjoyed it a lot. It feels like the most straightforward, nostalgic-inducing song on this entire album. It's like they didn't hold back. They're like, we're just going to go back to our roots and we're going to play something heavy, something that our old fans are really going to enjoy. Then we have the closing track, Theaters of War. This might be, I don't know, it's kind of tough to say because they're all pretty heavy, but this one might be the heaviest song on this album. The vocal layering in the chorus is fantastic, makes it really strong. The breakdown has just a great head-bobbing groove to it, and the melody is fantastic as it kind of goes along with the rhythm in it. This is definitely, I feel like this song has the most musical variety in it. It has a little bit of something. This is the song that's the most unpredictable to me. It reminds me a little bit of like August Burns Red, and just how it's a little bit more progressive. The melodies stand out a little bit more. It's got, it's just a progressive metalcore song, which I know that Unearth can do, and they've done it in the past, but they did a really good job on this one. It's a great closing track. I just wish they would have experimented with this a little bit sooner within the album, just to break up the, just basic metalcore monotony that the rest of it tends to be, just a little bit. I really enjoyed the pure metalcore nature of this band. Unearth delivered to us what they do best, and that's just classic metalcore. It reminds me a lot of Bleed From Within's 2020 album Fracture, and how they just keep the pedal to the floor. They never let up. It just keeps going. With exception to the song Aniara, which is their acoustic interlude thing, which to me, it's like a speed bump in the road that some people might enjoy. And to me, it just disrupted the whole flow of the album. Sure, it kind of sets it up for the next song, Into the Abyss, but again, it doesn't really need it at all. But this pedal to the metal kind of music might be their downfall for some people. It might become a bore for some listeners. It's kind of the same just riffage over and over and over again. It was cool to hear some more dynamic stuff like on Theaters of War. Again, I wish they would have done that sooner. Add just a little bit more flavor, a little bit more color to their music, if anything. I don't know if this album will be ranked amongst the other 5 of the 7 albums that I mentioned earlier as it being like their most memorable albums to me personally. I still enjoyed this album a lot, but I don't know, it's not as memorable to me. A lot of the stuff was kind of forgettable. The riffs, the choruses, almost everything. Some of these songs are really heavy, and I remember those moments. The breakdowns are kind of decent, but they didn't really have a song that stood out to me all that much, aside from maybe the title track song and Dawn of the Militants. That's basically all I can really think of. So with all that said, I got to give the Wretched, the Ruinous, a 7.3 out of 10. But I want to know what you guys think. Leave a comment below letting me know what you thought of the Wretched, the Ruinous. Let me know what you would rate it. Let me know what your favorite song is. Let me know what your favorite Unearth album is too. And if you haven't listened to them, go back and listen to some of their stuff. I know that there's a lot of people who are into metalcore and they always just forget about this band, or they never really truly listen to them. Give some of the earlier stuff a listen because it is fantastic. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like. If you want to help support me and my channel, please consider subscribing and ringing the bell icon. Doing any of that stuff helps me out tremendously with YouTube's algorithm. And I just appreciate you guys taking time out of your day to listen to me talk about music. And I hope you have a good rest of your day or night whenever you happen to be watching this. And I will talk to you guys next time.
I was trying to make it lying down.